Namaste. Good morning. It's an honour to be here and it's wonderful to address VHP. Firstly, I would like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land, the elders past, present and emerging, and anyone of Indigenous descent that is here today. And I've got to say it made me a big smile when I saw there was a growing population of Hindus of Aboriginal descent. That's quite amazing. And so thank you for sharing that with us. So thank you. I want to thank the World Hindu Council of Australia for inviting me this morning to this wonderful conference. I'd firstly like to acknowledge my good friend, Subbaraman, the National President. We've worked so well together over the last few years. You touched on the attacks that happened in the New South Wales Parliament. My friend, Mr. Shoebridge, and I use that word friend very, very lightly in that stage, he, when it was raised with me what had happened and what he'd said, I thought there was no choice but to have a good go at him. And of course my colleagues, Daniel Mookie and others, did in the upper house where he sat, but of course we had to do it in the lower house as well, and it was good to do. And him and I had very strong words, and I won't tell you what they were. There was a lot of swear words involved in the corridors. He hasn't spoken to me since, but I do look forward to one thing. Now that we have a Hindu Labor senator in Parliament, in the same chamber that Shoebridge is, I can't wait to see him go to town on him. That's going to be something to look forward to if he says ignorant or stupid things again. And in my role as Assistant Minister, or Parliamentary Secretary as they call it in New South Wales, to the Attorney General, I have to commit to you, and I'll tell you, we've had significant discussions regarding hate speech in New South Wales, strengthening the laws, making sure that there is prosecutions and enforcement and arrests when it happens. And we often hear about certain communities, that they're supposedly being vilified. Well, the Hindu community is as well. It is attacked at times again and again. We saw it with Shoebridge, but it wasn't the only time. And you have a commitment to me that we'll continue to stand up, and the Men's Labor government will make sure that when this happens again, that we'll use the full force of the law to make sure it doesn't happen again. Shushan, the keynote speaker, thank you firstly for your military service. We appreciate that. That's also another area which is underrepresented. Certainly the time I spent in the Army Reserve, and that I saw a number of people from either Sikh or Hindu background that was there. It was a growing group, and it's great that the Bhagavad Gita is now with the recruit training unit as well, and so thank you for that. But also thank you for your stats. Thank you for that information. Obviously your experience as an economist and your training has come through by doing that, but that's the evidence you need. That's the evidence you need. And you think how much you've grown in the Hindu community has grown the last few decades, and we look to seeing it grow more and more. Obviously we have representatives here for the Hindu Youth Australia, and of course all the conference coordinators and workers today. Thank you for this work. I want to acknowledge my parliamentary friends. I won't go through them all, I've only got a few minutes, but also my councillor friends. However, I do want to make a note of two people who live in my area, live in Prospect, are good friends of mine. One is Suman Saha, the first Deputy Mayor who was a Hindu in Cumberland. And the great news, that I got the text yesterday from Suman, and Suman is around the corner from me, so we're good friends. He has been pre-selected and endorsed as #1 on the ticket for Wentworthville Ward, so he will be definitely coming back. The other person who's not here today is Samir Pandey, who was the first Hindu mayor of Parramatta as well. Also lives at Girraween. His kids go to school with my kids. It's to have great leadership, right, amongst these two great community leaders. We mentioned Daniel Mookie, who also grew up in Merrylands. So once again, they are all from our area, all from our parts of Western Sydney, and they're truly leading in the Parliament. As you know, today's theme of the conference is Growing Community in Thriving Australia, and we'll focus on how a vibrant Hindu community can help Australian society continue to flourish in the future. And I'll argue with anyone to say that the Australian community has flourished under the growth of Hinduism in Australia, especially Western Sydney. The tolerance, the vibrancy, the knowledge, the incredible experience that you've brought to our community is truly wonderful. And VHP Australia's idea of one Earth, one family, one future is not only a testament to your rich cultural heritage and global significance, but also one of the most valuable contributions to our modern, multicultural society in Australia. I am particularly proud of seeing those figures of how many highly skilled workers, young professionals and wonderful families are in our growing Hindu Australian community, both in the local electorate of Prospect, but across Western Sydney and across New South Wales. Now, I'm so lucky that I live in the centre of a community with a growing Hindu population, and the suburbs I live in and visit every day, Toongabbie, Pendle Hills, Seven Hills, Wentworthville, Southern Blacktown, Pemaway, Greystanes, and of course Girraween. It's wonderful, wonderful. And these are suburbs which are welcoming to migrants, and now a new generation of migrants from India and other parts of the subcontinent, but a growing Hindu community. In recent years, our Hindu community organisations have assisted in bushfire and flood emergencies, coordinated in blood donations and helped new migrants settle, as well as helping those in need, delivering world food packages and medicine supplies. The generosity is an example of our community spirit and harmony, which makes Western Sydney such an amazing place to live. Now, as the years progress, as we progress this term in government, I look forward to working and talking with you all later about today and in the future, the ways that the MINS Labor government or New South Wales Labor government can partner with each of you and support our Hindu community in New South Wales. And if you don't know, and it's a pretty bad secret at the moment, but the Chris MINS will be going to India this year. We're negotiating and working out all the details at the moment, and it'll be his first trip. So it's going to be a great time. I look forward to seeing him visit many temples while he is there, because you can't really understand India until you do that. One of my greatest memories is the stone temples outside of Chennai, and they're just beautiful. And then there's those temples not far away from those which are actually underwater. And I swore when I first saw them that I'd come back and scuba dive there one day because I really wanted to see them. So you never know, one day I will. Thank you. But I look forward to seeing him grow his knowledge of India with people like Warren and others and myself, and really build together our community, and seeing more and more people of the Hindu faith in our parliament working as our colleagues. Thank you to all who are attending today. Thank you for this invitation. And especially thank you to those who have worked so hard to make this conference a success. I thank you for your ongoing commitment to supporting our Hindu Australian community and our multicultural New South Wales. Thank you.